It's official. Your favorite shows are becoming exclusive. Introducing Flix. Beginning July 3rd, F Network will introduce an exclusive, enhanced viewing experience for passport holders with access to free content all year long. So sign up for your F Network passport today. It's fast, simple, and free.
Named one of the top 10 wedding photographers in the world. A legend behind the lens. World-renowned author. The one, the only, Kevin Kubota.
I've got clients coming. Can you please go out and sweep the front of the office?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay.
All right, thank you. There, that is gorgeous. Okay, look off into the sky just a little bit. Perfect. Oh, I love that. And the wind is like catching your hair perfectly. Gorgeous.
Hey, are you a photographer?
Yeah, actually I am. Let me see if I have a card.
Great. Actually, you know what? I've got some stuff for you.
Okay.
Yeah, what kind of photography do you do?
Like portraits and weddings, and like sometimes when people have pets, I use their.
You do pet photography?
Yeah, I do.
Well, you know what? If you do pet photography,
I kind of just do everything.
you're gonna need these.
Whoa. Wow.
Right here, take that.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Wow. Ooh, that's so
You
shiny.
gotta blow your. Here,
Whoa.
you're gonna need one of these too. Yeah, you get some pets or some kids that are unruly.
Yeah?
You just set that up. You need 4 of them, but here's
Really?
one. Right.
I didn't even know they made stuff
Oh,
like
they
this.
do,
This
they
is
do.
awesome.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Yeah, here, take that.
Okay.
You just take this, you set it up, and it's great for kids. You can,
Does my camera go on it?
well,
or-
you know, it can, or you can turn it into a horse and ride it. Or you
Is
can,
that just like to make the kids laugh? Or?
well, yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
That's probably what I need. Okay.
Well, of course you do.
Ooh, pink.
Exactly. Just
It's
kinda
something
neat.
that I need, right?
It's all what you need. Cold days, you know,
Yeah,
the kids
yeah.
get the snots. you
Yeah.
just-
Comes out
Oh,
of
a
it.
light speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one.
Yeah.
Here, these
That.
guys.
That's it. That's.
Yeah,
Whoa.
aren't these
That's
great?
perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, here.
Okay. Wait.
All right,
Okay.
so how do you want to pay for this? We take Visa.
Oh yeah. Actually, I have a card. Actually, right there in my pocket.
Excuse me. All right, so I'm gonna go run this,
Okay.
and then I'll get you a receipt.
Okay. All right. I will.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Wait. Hey! 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 Hey!
Well, hey photographers, we're back with PhotoPro, and you know what, all seriousness aside, we're gonna talk about the top things that you really should spend your money on when you start your photography business. We're all tempted to just go out and buy all the best equipment or all the equipment somebody recommends that we should buy, but really, what do you need to spend your money on? So what I wanna do is talk about some of the things that I've decided are worth spending your money on. Now this is kind of looking back at my business over the years. What things did I buy? What things did I end up using a whole lot? What things did I find the most versatile and gave me the most bang for the buck? In other words, they showed direct returns for the investment. So let's start off with number one. One of the things that most of us fail to spend money on when we really should is a great logo and branding for your business. Even if you're just starting out, it really pays to design a great logo and to have a great website and your branding, your communications material look as high-end and professional as possible. You would not believe what a big difference this makes towards your success. Now, you think about this yourself. When you look in the yellow pages, you look at ads, you go to stores, you pick up somebody's business card, even if it's subliminal, you notice if it's not designed professionally, it looks like it's hand done or done very cheaply, you have an immediate impression that this business is not serious or they're not very high quality. And you can't get around that. As much as it seems like it's superficial, it is, but it's important. Spend money on a great logo and a great brand image. The next tip is probably no surprise to many of you, but it's very true. Spend money on education, business and creative education. It's vitally important that you build that into your budget, that you plan every year to spend money on education. You really can't go wrong going to something, going to a class, going to a seminar every year, all the time throughout your career. And when I look back again at the things that have turned my business around, where I've plateaued and taken the next level of my business, it's because I've usually learned something new at a seminar or a class that gave me the impetus or the ideas to move to the next level and to keep it growing. So plan for education. It's not an option, it's part of growing your business. As much as it is fun, it's valuable to belong to professional associations. I was very fortunate when I first got started because the photographers that I hung out with were already members of some professional associations, so they sort of dragged me to these meetings and got me involved, and I really had no clue what I was getting into, but I very soon realized this was vitally important to growing my business. Again, most of the connections I've made in the industry, most of the opportunities I've had to really grow have come through connections at these professional associations. Now there's great education, and that's really important. That's part of this education piece that I talked about earlier, but the part about the associations that's really valuable is the connections you make. Connections with other photographers, connections with people in the industry that can connect you to somebody else to help your business grow. So make it a point to join a professional association or two and go to the meetings, go to the seminars, and take part. Meet as many people as you can and network. They are valuable. You know, when it comes to camera gear, well, I'm a gear freak, so I'm not really the best person to be telling you about minimalist approach to camera gear. But actually, I have narrowed it down to the things that I find the most valuable. And after owning many, many cameras over the years and many, many lenses and traveling with these pieces of equipment as well as using them on my shoots, at weddings, portraits, commercial jobs, what I've really found is that you don't actually have to have the best camera. Now, some of you are going to argue with that. I know it. Some people always say buy the best camera you can afford, and that's true, what you can afford. If you've got all the money in the world, then go ahead and buy a top-of-the-line DSLR, but you don't have to have the top of the line to do the best work. For many years, I shot with mid-range DSLRs and did my wedding work and did very, very well, and I never really had a client say, gee, your pixels aren't quite as nice as the next guy's, you know, maybe if you had a better camera, you'd do better in this business. No, it just doesn't happen. If you're taking great images and you know what to do with your camera, any mid-range camera you buy today is going to deliver more than enough image quality. So, first of all, just get a decent camera. I use a D300S as well as a D3 for my jobs, but a D300S, it's a mid-range camera. It's not the latest and greatest, but it works great. I also think that a 50mm f1.4 lens is one of the sweetest lenses you can get. Love that shallow aperture. There is an f1.8, makes a little cheaper purchase, but I really think the f1.4 is worth going for. It really is nice. It's a great all-around lens, and this is a good standard combo for me. The other lens that everybody's going to want to have is a 70-200. Boom, Canon or Nikon, they both make these. They're very common, most of us have them, and you just don't realize how much you use this thing until you don't have one and it's broken and you send it into the shop. You really have all your bases covered with this, from very tight headshots to group shots to just about everything in between. So 70-200 f2.8, invest in that, and that could be your one and only lens for some of you, all right? Think about that. The other lens that I use and I love is a wide-angle zoom. Now you can get a very different variety of wide-angle zooms. This one is a 14-24. There's a 17-35 millimeter, and I'd go for the 2.8, or the fastest aperture you can find. Even though with a wide-angle lens, you may not think you need that wide open aperture. You're not going to really get that shallow depth of field, but the extra light that you get with that fast aperture is going to be worth it. So invest in a wide angle zoom. I also have a fixed 24mm f1.4, which I really love, but it's pretty expensive and it's not really as versatile as these zooms. And I think the quality is absolutely there. Get yourself a wide angle zoom if you can't afford several different fixed focal lengths. So for the basic camera equipment, that's what I think you can get by with and do just great. Next, let's talk about some lighting tools. When it comes to lighting equipment, there's really one tool that I consider a necessity if I was on a deserted island and only could take one thing, and that would be a 5-in-1 light disc. These things are available from Photoflex and from other manufacturers, and it's a disc, obviously, that pops up and it has a cover that's white on one side, it's gold on the other side, and when you open the zipper and take it off the cover, there's diffusion on the inside, and this diffusion is actually the thing I use the most. The diffusion is great for firing a flash through it, and you can create a softbox effect for diffusing the sun, or also just creating soft, even reflection with the diffusion fabric, as well as having the options for black, white, and on the other side, gold. It's not real gold, so don't try and sell it. But this is a good all-around tool. Folds up small, goes into your camera bag, and you're good to go. I think this is the first and only piece of equipment you absolutely have to have. Once you've got your natural light covered with your 5-in-1 disc, how about getting a speed light or two? Speed lights are absolutely essential. They're portable. You can use accessories, pimp them out, which we actually are going to talk about in another episode here, how to pimp your speed light and get really cool results just about anywhere. Speed lights, I would get 2 of them. You need one for a backup, maybe one for a second light. But if you can't afford studio lights, dedicated studio lights, you can almost do everything with just speed lights alone. So check out my lighting notebook if you haven't already, and you can get a lot of great ideas for what you can do with speed lights. Now to trigger your speed lights, you're also going to need a Pocket Wizard. Pocket Wizard is a wireless trigger system. There are other manufacturers, there's radio poppers, and there's other generic lines of wireless triggers, and Pocket Wizard just happens to be one of my favorites because of the way it's built. It's solid, it's dependable, it's full of features, and yet it's still very easy to use. It's reliable, and there are multiple ways to control your flash, either manually or even TTL. They connect to your speed lights and they connect to your studio lights. If you're not really sure what TTL means through the lens, and it's through the lens metering of your flash. So normally if your flash is right on top of the camera, it connects through the hot shoe and talks to your camera, so it meters everything automatically. You don't really have to set it, you can just say automatic and it gives you a proper exposure. Now with the Pocket Wizard, you can get the same sort of control, the automatic lighting control, even when it's off the camera, around the corner, in another room, not quite another state, but you can put it pretty far away and still get totally automatic flash with TTL control. Good to have. Now you're starting to get a little more fancy, right? You got your flash, you got your wireless control. You're gonna want something to give you a beautiful, versatile type of lighting control, and I think an octagon-shaped softbox, something like this Photoflex Octadome, is a great choice. The Octadome has 8 sides. It makes it almost circular, which is really great because it gives a soft, even light. The size of it is just about right for Head and Shoulders images. The shape of the box is actually really nice in the eyes. It tends to match the pupil, so you have a round catch light in the eyes. And I find that this size works really well. This particular unit here can be used with a speed light attached in the back or regular studio lights. So it's a good, versatile, durable light source. All right, folks, those are some of my top choices for what to invest your money in first. Of course, there's a lot of other things. We all need to have computers and software, and that's kind of a given. But when it comes to things that you're not quite sure where to spend your money on, those are the things that we just talked about there. That's where I think you should start off. And of course, there's gonna be a lot more, but you gotta start somewhere, right? So don't be persuaded to spend too much money on things you really don't need yet. Well, there you have it, photographers, our top places for spending money when you're getting started with the photography business. See you next week on PhotoPro.
PhotoPro was brought to you by White House Custom Color. Like the music? Special thanks to Triple Scoop Music. Frame Network giveaways are brought to you by B&H. Head to giveaways.framenetwork.com for your chance to win. Find out more about the equipment used in this episode on framenetwork.com.